Good morning, everybody. Invite somebody to share, please. Please invite someone to share. Got some great stuff we're going to talk about this morning. Seems like it's been forever, but it really hasn't been that long. Invite somebody to share. All right, it's not playing the way that I want it to, and I'm all about that quality. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Invite somebody to share. Got some things I want to talk. I started last week, maybe even the week before, talking about the woman, the significance of the woman, the importance of the woman, why society hates women, why society hates black women. I believe it was Thursday or Friday. Friday, I believe it was the last time I went live in regards to that. So I kind of want to finish that this morning. I want to talk about that. And today is also voting day. It's Tuesday, August the 18th. Your local elections are what controls your neighborhood. Who you have in local government means everything to you, where you live, how you live, and the things that happen around you. So I'm encouraging you to go vote. And I'm not a politician, thank God. There are several people that I've cast my vote for. Some people shouldn't be on the ballot, and I'll save that for another time. But this morning, I want to remind everybody, make sure you vote Rhonda Peoples Waters. Today's the day. Make sure you do that. Rhonda Peoples Waters. So, let me start off my good morning. I want to thank my sponsors, Crazy Beans Coffee, a taste of Miami. When it comes to a taste of Miami, the best food on the planet. No matter what you eat, whether it's meat, vegan, pescatarian, they have it all for you. Make sure you go there also and get your CMOS. When it comes to the best coffee on the planet, there's no other place like Crazy Beans Coffee. Crazy Beans Coffee is coming to the downtown area as well. There's a store out 220. You need to go out there. You need to shop. You need to sit down and have your cup of coffee. Tell them T sent you. But they're going to be coming downtown in the JTA building. So I'm excited about that as well. So this morning, Gary Harvey, good morning, sir. Trina, good morning. Rodrika Webb, classmate. One of my first crushes when I was a kid. Stephanie Brooks, good morning. Erica Austin, good morning. Stephanie Brooks, good morning. Teresa Bryant, good morning. And Katrina Boom, good morning. If I did not call your name, if I did not mention you, please don't shoot me. It's only because this platform didn't tell me you were there, but if you leave me a message, say something to me, I promise not only will I acknowledge you, I give you the credit that I believe is due. I appreciate you for joining in with me, stopping in with me, no matter what you were doing. You put it aside at least for a little while to see what Lil Pickett have to say. So thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your love, your trust. And let's jump into this. There's a lot that I want to say in regards to the women. So one of the things that society has done, society has told women, black women, what they can do, what they can't do, and as a result of that, many women have fell in the trap of trying to live up to society's demand. The danger in living up to society's demand is it will cause you to not only lose but misplace your own purpose, and if you're not careful, you will be more apt to follow them than follow the thing that you were created to do. The woman has been the most abused human on the planet. She's abused all throughout time. She's forgotten. She's overlooked. She's treated like a second-class citizen. In some cases, she's even just has been totally disregarded. And I wanna talk about that a little bit. But I also want the woman to know that you are more valuable than society gives you credit for. And don't you for 1 minute buy into who society says that you are, because remember, our society was created by the man. We live in an egotistical, chauvinistic society where the man believes in order for him to have power, he has to lead, he has to be in charge, he has to be in the forefront. And that has nothing to do with purpose, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's what a man is. So we've gotten the roles confused, and we've defined the purpose through the roles instead of defining the purpose in appointing the roles. The role and what you're called to do depends on who you are and what you were created to do. So back in the day, when we were kids, the first and maybe this happened in your household as well, but my mom was responsible for cooking dinner. I see my mom iron my father's clothes. I saw my mom take great care of my dad. That's what I saw. And in seeing that, her taking care of my dad, I began to define the role that a woman plays through what I saw. Not only did I see that in my house, I saw it in my grandparents' house, I saw it in my uncle and my aunt's house. Everywhere that I went, the role of the woman basically was the housekeeper. She helped the kids with the homework. It's very few times my dad helped me with homework. So as we grow up, these roles are defined, and they're defined based on our experiences. And somebody has taken these experiences and made them law. And I want to add this. I want to add this. Just because that's the way you saw it, doesn't necessarily mean that's the way that it should be. First of all, I believe each house should be treated differently. And the reason each house should be treated differently is that we are different people. We have different personalities. The makeup of one man is not the same or equivalent of another man. And because the makeup is different and what we were created to do is different, then there are going to be differences in our roles based on how we are wired and who we're created to be. So the woman is the only person on the planet who's assigned a role. And that role is often disrespected. So when we grow up in environments and we see things, the things that we see influence on who we become. So by the time as a young man I got married, in my mind, I believe that what I saw my grandmother do, what I saw my mom, my aunts, what I saw my great grandmother do, that is the same role that my wife should have. And I was sadly mistaken. And she let me know in so many words, no, homie, that don't work over here. So then we had to redefine exactly who she was going to be in our house. We had to redefine who she was going to be in our house. Now, let me help you all out. I believe that a man and a woman is equal. I believe equal partnership in relationships. I believe there's equality there. I do not believe, and can't nobody prove otherwise, that leading makes you the boss. In fact, leading makes you the bigger servant. So when we talk about the man leading, I don't think that should be looked at in a condescending way. The man is the foundation of the family. The woman is the incubator. You really have to be careful who you connect with, who you hook up with, who you have relations, who you have relations with, who you marry, who you enter into covenant with. Your spouse is the only person that can tell the world who you really are, because that spouse becomes your mirror. And if you want to know who a person really is, look at who they married. I'll say it again. If you want to know who a person really is, look at who they married. When it comes to the woman is the perfect part of the man, and she is the very best part of the man. I'm going to say it again. The woman is the best part of the man. She's the perfect piece to the man. And her being the incubator, her job is to help the man build. Now, keep in mind the man is the foundation. I have a construction background, believe it or not. I actually used to get my hands dirty. And in construction, before you poured the foundation, the ground had to be leveled. And with a leveled ground, you had to also make sure that the roots from trees and other things were not in the ground at a certain level, because over time, when the ground settles, you didn't want the root to crack the foundation. If the man is the foundation, then the ground has to be cleared so that the foundation can be laid, so that you can build upon that foundation. I don't care how small, big, or how great the structure of the building is. If the foundation is off, the building is going to fall. So the man should provide some level of security to the woman that she cannot get on her own. The woman is the incubator. She's the protector of the seed. You want to know why this generation is messed up? Look at who we having kids with. Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. This is why you can't allow society to control, dictate, or even tell you what you should and should not do. I think you ought to seek the creator. No one knows the product the way the manufacturer does. And when we look at our world, our society as a whole, the reason it is messed up the way that it is we have messed up men running it. Men are egotistical. Men build off ego. And it has its place. But the man is to provide the foundation. He's to provide the security so that everything the woman builds, or everything that they build together, it doesn't fall. So if the woman is the incubator and the man is the foundation, who builds the building? They do it together. I said this last week, I believe it was Friday, when I started this talk about women, because it's just, I don't think there are any platforms that praise our women the way that they should be praised, especially our black queens. Everything that God created, he called it good. But when it came to the woman, he called it very good. He pulled the woman out of the man. But from the beginning of time, God never named man, man, and woman, woman. He had one name for both of them, and that name was Adam. Now, Adam literally means, listen carefully, it means the first. It means foundation. It means beginning. Adam, it means infrastructure. structure. It means strength. God didn't call Eve Eve, but he did call Adam Adam. That's where we get Adam from. So if God addressed both of them by the same name, that tells me that there's a oneness that they should have. And if I am one with myself, everything that I do to myself, with myself, for myself, I do after I have harmony between my head and my heart. When I made the decision to come on live this morning, it started with my thought process. After I thought it, I began to consult my heart as to what I would say. There has to be rhythm between your head and your heart. How you think and what you feel should be in harmony. Head and heart are synonymous. The point that I'm making is the heart of the man is the woman. The heart of the woman is the man. And they are to put their heads together to build. No one knows a man like that woman. That's because she came out of him. She was exposed to things inside of him that even he didn't know exists. That's right, when a man hooks up with the right woman, his purpose and his dream comes alive. Nobody can build like a woman. I'm going to say that again. Nobody can build like a woman. Because a woman has something that God put inside of her to protect and build. This is why these kids act the way they do. I mean, you sleeping with baby and them, and a woman is so powerful that whatever she is, that child becomes. A lot of times when we measure our children, we measure them by their deeds, by their actions, by their responses. When they don't do what we want them to do, then we don't give them a good grade. We don't give them a good grade because that's not how I raised you. That's not what I call you to do. Well, that's not who that child is. Just because a child does it, that doesn't define the child. What happens in most cases is there are two things that are growing inside of a child. It's the same thing with adults. There are two things growing in you. There's the curiosity that sits in you that unveils based on your weakness. And then there's the part of you that's true to you. And there's a war that goes on between the curiosity that is literally shown through my weakness and who I was created to be. There's a war. There's an ongoing war that goes on, and it starts when we're kids. The reason we are where we are now as adults is because how we were shaped and formed and what we gave into as kids, what we were exposed to as kids. Those things, when your curiosity starts to ride, it depends on your weaknesses in order to drive. So we're curious about things. And a lot of times the curiosity inside of us is bigger than the drive that we have. So a lot of times kids get into stuff, but that doesn't mean that's who they are. And that's why it's so imperative that the woman, the man, speak over the child continuously. Tell that child who they are. They don't have a right to choose who they are. They don't. Their brains have not matured. It is not functioning at its fullest potential. So whenever you have a brain that is still forming and it's immature, it's going to make immature decisions. And the reason there are so many grown boys is because their brains never matured, but their bodies did. A woman has the power to persuade a grown boy and baby boy. She has that power. If you speak to any man, well, there are exceptions to every rule, but to the majority of men, and you ask that man who his rock is, he's going to tell you, mama. 6'6", 480-pound football player is in the camera. Hi, mom. The mom can bring the kid out of the man. The mom has a touch. Her maternal instincts, her power of influence is really strong with the man. The reason we have so many jellyfish men is because to some degree, mom maternaled him to life. She did not give him the space to grow and to build and to figure things out. But if you want to take down a man, show up with his mama. She has a power that he does not have. And I'm going to give you something else. If you look through the scripture to try to define who the woman is, you're going to be confused. Because even when man is up under the osmosis of God, he's still confused about the woman, because good can't define very good, but very good can define good. If I'm going to define a thing, I have to know a thing, and I have to become one with that thing, or have enough knowledge of that thing in order to define it. But you can't be on the bottom floor explaining what the sky looks like. You can't. You don't have sky experience. So our society operates on a bottom floor level, lower level thinking. And the reason it operates on a lower level is because we have lower level thinking men who have built off ego. And an egotistical man without the balance of a healthy woman becomes a child. So our society and the world that we're in is jacked up because it's built by little boys. So when it comes to devaluing the woman, the construct of our society has been sewn together through the imaginations and thoughts of white little kids. So there's an enemy that seeks to rob us of identity. In order to truly rob a person of their identity, because identity is not something that can be taken, in order to rob a people of their identity, you have to keep before them certain images. How are women portrayed in our society? What are the images that we see, especially of the black woman? We see a butt out in shorts. Society presents the imagery, image is what creates imagination, of the black woman with her hips out and her butt out. The imagery, the imagination, what controls the imagination is the image. That image that is projected shows her twerking, dancing and rap videos. Let me tell you why black people love Bill Cosby. Black people love Bill Cosby is for the first time in our lifetime, the Cosby Show was a healthy black family that was winning. It gave us hope. So we fell in love with the characters on screen. Because his ability to give us the image of what we should be. He was a doctor. His wife was an attorney. The kids went to a healthy school, college. They lived in a nice house. Completely, totally different show than Good Times. The intro of Good Times is struggling and surviving. And every time the Evans family would get to a point where it looked like something was going to happen, the rug would snatch from under them. Now listen to this. And I'm not knocking the Evans family, and I'm not comparing them with the Cosby family. But the difference between the two families were writers and what they wanted us to see. Good Times is depressing. Because when they finally make it out of the hood, James is dead. Florida done broke the punch bowl. Writers. Men. So if I can keep before you my image of you, you will become what you see and absorb what I show you and talk yourself out of who you were created to be. Now, if you look in both families, the Cosby Show and the Evans family, it was the woman that held that family together, because James was killed in a car accident in Chicago trying to take another job. He was killed. The image of the black family through the lens of a white man. Now, even a white man could see the power of the woman, because throughout history, even in slavery, the nanny that fed those white kids, that took care of those white kids, that took care of the house, she was black. Now, isn't it funny how you grow up with a black titty in your mouth, but you grow up to degrade the one who milk you drunk? The woman is powerful. The black woman is powerful. The black woman is so powerful, even the white man would tell you he couldn't get what he had without the support and the aid of a woman. We've been on the scene. We built the pyramids. So don't allow screenwriters to define who you are in the world based on music videos, based on TV. If I'm going to discredit you, I have to keep a certain image in front of you. And the image that I keep in front of you is there so that it can convince you that it's what you are. Listen, in intellectual warfare, in psychological warfare, the goal is to conquer in the mind. How do we conquer with our mind? We use our imagination. Where does our imagination, where is it drafted? Where does it come from? Your imagination comes from the images or image that you've been exposed to. So whatever image you see controls the imagination, and the imagination now becomes the blueprint for what you believe. So if I can keep the wrong things before you, snatch you of your history, and not have anything to feed who you're really supposed to be, then your true identity is now suppressed, and the image from screenwriters, white folk, is impressed upon you, and you believe what you see and become what they wrote. My black sisters, I'm here to tell you, you're much more than that, and they knew it. So when they couldn't defeat your body, they now tried to control your mind. Your mind. This is one of the reasons during the Emancipation Proclamation, this is one of the reasons during slavery, they would not allow black folk to read. They didn't want you to read because whatever you read now becomes the infrastructure of your imagination. And they didn't ever want you to imagine being free. They didn't want you to feed freedom with knowledge, because they know you were strong enough that if you ever got the knowledge and mixed it with the DNA of who you are, that you would also gain the power to overthrow what they said about you, who they tried to make you, and you would do something about it. And if you don't believe me, look at you now. The Underground Railroad was carefully devised by a woman. They called her Moses because she had an image of Moses. When the woman takes her place, she takes it with the sure foundation of a man. Somewhere, listen to this carefully, because it's going to sound like it's a play on the words. For every strong woman, I guarantee you, she's had some male influence. Guaranteed. Somewhere, it could be daddy, granddaddy, uncle, some male influence. And for every successful male, he's successful because of some strong woman influence. If you really look at this thing the way we're supposed to, men are not better than women, and women aren't better than men. They are equal. And you can't have one without the other. Did you not know that the DNA of a man is X and Y chromosomes? The DNA of a woman is the same. There are no such thing as feminine ribs, masculine liver. There's a variance in sizes, but the human organs, the body parts, pretty much the same. The body parts starts to change when it comes to the reproduction organs. What does that say? Hey, we are the same until it's time to produce. That's what makes us different. And I think that we have to praise this woman. I think that we have to raise this queen, because society has been an enemy to her. It has robbed her of who she is. It's robbed her of what she was born to do. And it has done everything within its power to create a new image of her. How do we take it back? I'm glad you asked. One of the ways we can take it back is we have to be people responsible for putting women in leadership. That's one of the reasons I'm voting for Rhonda Peoples Waters. She's a great woman designed to lead. We've got to kill the instituted male chauvinistic mentality that America and the world has married. A woman shouldn't be a side piece. Not when she's the one that gave birth to the piece. She shouldn't be a second thought. Not when she's the mother of the one that has the brain to think. I don't believe the woman is greater than the man, but I don't believe the man is greater than the woman. I think God made them a team. And one thing about a teammate is you're only as strong as the weakest team member. So my job as a man is to make sure that I build the woman. Because in building her, I complement my growth. She's not my competition. I want to be her strength. Because if I can be her strength, if I can be her foundation, she can build some things and bring some things out of me that I didn't know was there. Ladies, don't believe society. You're worth more, you're better. You're greater, you're stronger. You're wiser. You're not better than the man. And the man is not better than you. Because God never called you weak. He never called the man strong. When God saw both of them, this is what he said. Adam. Which means the same definition that the man had, the woman had. Our roles are different in production. That's why we have different production organs. What we produce is different. But in the same way that the man needs love, the woman needs love. The same way the woman needs love, man needs love. When you look at the needs of each other, you're going to find out they're pretty much one and the same. The only thing that make us different is what and how we produce. We've got to protect each other. Now here's another thing, and I'm going to be out of here. You got to get out and vote. It's not by act or coincidence that the highest office in the world has overlooked all these men for a female running mate. Let me. A white man running for the highest office in the world, the presidency of the United States, didn't just choose a woman, chose a black one. I wouldn't care what society say on how she defines herself. You don't choose who you're going to be. You choose what you become. But God chooses who you're going to be. Your color, your race, your gender. You didn't choose that. So you can't define what you didn't choose. You are what God called you. No matter who tells you otherwise. So for the first time in history, we have a black woman on the ballot. Don't miss this opportunity to become a part of the greatest history known to man, where a woman, eventually I really believe she'll be president. I believe that. When we work together and complement each other, we bring out the best in each other and we become better as a people, and we are able to present whole families. As long as we're at odds with each other, As long as the comparison game goes on, as long as we think one is greater than the other, we'll only be a portion of what we were created to be. The moment we recognize that that woman is equal and should be treated with the same respect, we can grow. We can grow as a people. The healthy people create happy families. Happily families create a happy society. A happy society creates a happy world. The misinterpretation is in identity. We want to suppress the woman when she's called to lead. We need our sisters. We need our women, all nationalities. We need our women, all nationalities. We need our women. But I'm a black man. We need our black queens to rise, to build, to become, to stop looking down on yourself because of the images society has placed in front of you, and believe in the one that created you and accept nothing less. When you know you are the best, you're not looking to engage in lower life experiences. When you know you are the best, you're looking for the best experiences. My sisters, hear me when I tell you this. Hear me. You're greater than what you even know. You're greater than what... How do I know you're greater than what you know? Because what God called you. And I know you're greater than what you know because when he created man, even though the woman was tucked away inside of that man, man was walking around in purpose. But God says it's not good that man be all incomplete to himself. Alone is all one. So if I'm going to create multiplication, I've got to start by dividing. How did he divide the man? He brought the woman out. Because she was supposed to be, and she is, the part of him that's his best. Thanks for joining Coffee Time this morning. Thanks for your support. I need your support and your help even the more. You can Cash App, sponsor Coffee Time. Got some wonderful projects that we're getting ready to release. I'm grateful to all of you. I'm grateful for all of you. And thanks for your support over the years. Hear me, hear me, hear me. I can't do this without you. If you'd like to give support, Coffee Time, you can do so. I'm going to put it on the screen. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you do for a living. Don't you ever underestimate the power of a woman. She's great. She's greater than what we give her credit for. As you go out your day, as you go through your day, remember that greatness is in you, and never let anybody devalue who God created you to be. Listen, once God established a thing, it's set for eternity. He didn't just say you were very good in the garden. No, that identity and that expression exists now, and it does not change. As long as the earth remains, the woman is very good. And stay away from anybody that doesn't see your value. Don't allow people to devalue you based on their broken perception of themselves. When a person can't see whole, it's because they are viewing through pieces of them. A whole person is able to see whole things. Don't become the broken pieces of another man's imagination and shortchange yourself of who you were predestined to be. Listen, you were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. But you got to calm down, slow down. Remind yourself who you are and the value you bring to the table. Then be quiet and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speaks, you will always win. You all have a great day. And always remember to think higher, speak life. Never let anybody else undervalue you, and don't you undervalue or underestimate yourself. Whatever it is you're doing now, you were created to be greater. Have a great day.